DMG Nation boxing fans, what is going on? Insomnia from the Mexican Gamers channel. Bring you guys this Fight Night Champion video, but we're here to talk about boxing like you should already be used to. You know what, just ignore the gameplay. It's just for the background to have some boxing while we speak boxing, because we got a lot of things going on, man. We got the Abner Mares versus Ponce de Leon fight. We got the Chavez suspension. Finally, they gave him how much it's gonna be, for how long. We got the Alvarez versus Trout finally getting resolved. At least it looks like it. So, a lot of things to talk about. First off, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today in this video. And yeah, first off, let's start with the Abner Mares versus Ponce de Leon. So, Abner Mares, Ponce de Leon, two great Mexican fighters. First, the bout was scheduled for April 20th in Carson, California. That has been moved to May 4th, and it's going to be the undercard for the Robert Guerrero versus Floyd Money Mayweather fight. So I'm not here to talk about who I think is going to win the fight. I mean, both are great fighters. Ponce de Leon, first title defense versus an undefeated Abner Mares. Sadly, man, you know, it couldn't, the Abner Mares versus Nonito Donaire fight couldn't get resolved. They couldn't get, you know, signed. That's what everyone pretty much wanted to see. But, you know, because the differences between Golden Boy, who, you know, Abner Mares is under Golden Boy, and Top Rank for Nonito Donaire, because of their differences, they couldn't come to an agreement. It was mainly Top Rank that just wouldn't accept anything that Golden Boy threw at him. You know, Golden Boy offered this amount. I can't remember the exact figures, but just Top Rank didn't, you know, they weren't having it. So because of that, we don't get to watch that great fight. That would have been an amazing fight by both these fighters. That's what I wanted to see. You know, both fighters go at it. Number 1 and number 2, I believe. I think Nonito Donaire is up there, and then right below him is Abner Mares. That would have been an amazing fight, but it didn't get fixed. It didn't get resolved. They couldn't come to an agreement. So now we have another great fight in our hands, which is the Ponce de Leon versus Abner Mares fight. Again, scheduled for May 4th. And this is great, man. This is great for both fighters, that they're going to get so much more promotion. They're going to get so much more reflectors on them because they're going to be in the Mayweather undercard. But one thing I wanted to talk about was, well, let's get to the Alvarez versus Trout. So Alvarez versus Trout, it was going to be the undercard for the Robert Guerrero versus Mayweather fight. They were about to fix it, but because it was mainly because of Canelo that they're not going to be in the undercard in May 4th, because Canelo, what he wanted from Floyd was for them to give him a contract, a signed contract that said that he had a guaranteed fight with Floyd in September, I believe. So that's what Canelo wanted. He said, "Hey, man, you know, I'll be your undercard if I have a guaranteed fight with you in September." And Mayweather wasn't having it, man. He didn't accept that for some reason, for one reason or the other. And, you know, I can see that. You know, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, why, getting in Mayweather's shoes, why would Mayweather say, all right, I'll give you that fight? You know, what has Canelo done today in his career to say, you know, I'm good enough to fight you? But I think if he defeats Austin Trout, then he has, you know, who else? You know, who else for Mayweather? You know, I think, you know, if all right, Mayweather didn't accept that contract deal. He didn't accept that guaranteed fight in September for Canelo Alvarez. But I think, I don't know if what was said, what was discussed, if this was actually brought up and put down to the table. But, you know, I think Mayweather should have been like, all right, I'll give you that fight if you defeat Austin Trout, you know, because I don't know if Canelo was just saying, all right, give me the fight in September guaranteed, whether or not I win in this fight with Austin Trout. So I don't know. I assume it was, you know, it sounds like a reasonable, you know, route to take. You know, all right, you defeat Austin Trout, then I'll give you the fight in September guaranteed. Make it, you know, sign that in a contract. You get the fight if you defeat Austin Trout. But I don't know if that was discussed or not. Who knows? Also for Austin Trout, you know, I think that's the route for these two. This fight has so much on the line, the Canelo Alvarez versus Austin Trout, because, you know, after, you know, whoever wins this fight, you know, it's the sky is the limit, you know. And I mean, to me, the most reasonable thing, whoever wins this fight fights Mayweather in September. if Mayweather actually keeps to his word and actually fights twice in this year, because you know Mayweather's been fighting once a year only, but hopefully he fights twice a year. So I don't know, man. I don't know if that was actually said in the contract or not, but point is that it didn't get resolved, and Canelo said, I'm out of the card, and this has to hurt that fight. You know, that the viewings, the pay-per-view ratings for the Mayweather Guerrero fight, because to begin with, it's Mayweather. Yes, he's gonna bring a lot of people in, but it's not a fight that you say, oh my god, it's not a Marquez Pacquiao 4. It's not a, you know, what would be a Pacquiao versus Mayweather fight. It's not a, you know, it's not that big of a fight. It's a big fight because it's Mayweather in it. But Mayweather versus Guerrero, a lot of people already have Mayweather winning. Some people, you know, I'd say don't sleep on Guerrero, but whatever, man. It's not a huge fight like that. So, you know, even Mayweather, after it was confirmed that Canelo was leaving the card, he called Golden Boy and said, yo, give me a good fight as the undercard for May 4th. They talked to him about getting the Leon versus Mares fight in there, and he said, great, you know, perfect. 2 Mexican fighters. And yeah, man, so I think this might hurt a little bit, you know, the viewings, the ratings on this fight. But it's still going to be big. You know, I personally, I was going to buy the fight because of the Canelo versus Trout fight. I see a lot of people in YouTube comments and in boxing blogs saying the same thing. But now, I don't know if I'll buy it. Maybe I'll buy it for the Leon versus Mares fight. That's besides the point, though. So, yeah, Alvarez versus Trout moved to April 20th. Sorry about that. That was my alarm. Yeah, Alvarez versus Trout moved to April 20th in San Antonio. And that's great for me, man, because I'm in San Antonio. So I'm gonna start looking for tickets as soon as they're out. My family and I we're gonna start, as long as they're not that expensive, you know, because I mean, if they're that expensive, I'm gonna have to watch it on TV. But you know, I think Trout himself said, hey man, we deserved a main event. And yeah, you know, sure, I'll give you that, because I think they have enough people's attention. This fight has so much on the line that, you know, yeah, man, it could hold up to a main event in itself, in its own date. But would people pay for the pay-per-view? I don't know, man. I don't know. I personally would. I would. But I actually think that it's already confirmed that it's not going to be. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I think it's been said that it's not going to be pay-per-view, that it's only going to be on Showtime, but not pay-per-view. So that would be great. That would be great. Sort of like the Canelo versus Josecito Lopez fight. That would be awesome. And, you know, April 20th, hey, you know, it's sooner than May 4th, so it's great for us boxing fans, right? So yeah, man, let's move on to the Chavez suspension, because we're running a little late here. So yeah, Chavez Jr., man, fined $900,000, suspended for 9 months as a result for testing positive for marijuana after the Maravilla Martinez fight, right? So he was fined 30% of his $3 million purse in this fight, in Martinez fight. And man, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But he'll be back. He'll be back in June, I believe. And hopefully, man, hopefully Chavez Jr. learns from all of this, man. Because we all saw him in 24/7. His training was ridiculous. He looked so lazy, and I was discouraged, man. Like I was discouraged to see that Maravilla versus Chavez Jr. fight, because of the way this dude would train. And then he didn't wake up to the 11th round of the actual fight, or the last round. So I mean, come on, man. Hopefully he learns from all this and he comes back stronger than ever, but only time will tell, and we'll just have to see, man. You never know with Chavez Jr., man. Hopefully his dad just slaps some sense into him, and hopefully he learns from all this, man. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about, carnales. Thank you guys for sticking through me. If you watched the entire thing, then I really appreciate it. It cost me a lot to actually get through this entire video, or this entire commentary, because I'm actually pretty sick and I have to take little breaks. But yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me your comments down below and your opinions on everything we talked about, everything we discussed in this video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, bros, and as always, take care.